Okay. Hear me? I don't know. Hi, everybody. It's Professor Roberts. Um, I just wanted to go over a few of the things that I wanted to talk about during class today that we weren't able to because of the AV problems. And the first thing is I just want to go through the short syllabus really quickly and then talk about the textbook that you're going to be using for the first several weeks of the course, how to access it through the library if you don't have your own copy yet. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the homework. So I'm going to share my screen, and there's a cat here and she's going to be meowing probably, so I apologize ahead of time. Usually I do this if I'm going to record a lecture. It's going to happen earlier in the day, but now she's awake. So anyway, share screen, go. Okay, so if you go to our course, Religion 101, section 001, and go to course content, you will see under this general info tab that there's a short syllabus. There's a longer one coming, but I'm awaiting some specific guidelines that we need to add because of the situation of this semester with COVID. So the basic bulletin description of the course is beliefs and practices of the world's religions and the methods scholars use to study them. It carries credit for the Carolina Core GSS, which is social science in global context. So I wanted to point out, first of all, that this course is not a structured introduction to different religions. Right? This isn't a world religions course where we're going to spend a little bit of time on, on Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, but instead it's an introduction to the critical study of religion. And throughout the course, I will be providing for you introductions to a variety of different religions. But I just wanted to preface up front that one of the unique things about the way I teach the course is I try to equip you with some different tools for studying religion so that during the course, but then more importantly, even after, you can take those tools and, and look at different religions in a way that I think will be more satisfying than before you took the course. The learning outcomes, you scroll down a little bit. You can read these on your own, but these are the set learning outcomes for Religion 101. Recognize and describe the key ideas and practices of several religious traditions. Discuss ways in which human behavior is shaped by a belief in a divine being, beings, spirits, ancestors, or other non-empirical agents. Examine religious texts critically and analyze and compare specific examples of religious discourse. Discourse simply has to do with talking about religion. Analyze and compare specific examples of religious social formation, meaning groups and communities. Explain the main approaches, methods, and critical terms in the academic study of religion and identify current issues and debates in the field. Articulate their own perspective there. That's students will articulate your own perspective on the current issues under examination and discuss the strengths and limitations of that perspective. Engage deeply and respectfully with views other than your own. Yeah, we'll come back to those around midterm and near the end of the course, but those are the expectations that I have set out for you. And as you noticed in the survey or the quiz that I asked for you today, part of what I want to do is understand your expectations and your hopes for the course. And so I'm going to, based on things that you wrote, I'm going to try to populate sections of the course with things that will kind of round out your interests as well as what I think you need to learn. Textbooks, there are 3. That doesn't mean this is the only reading. There will be readings on Blackboard. There are also going to be films, video clips, podcasts, different things that I'll have you work with throughout the semester. But these 3 books anchor our discussions, and then the other things I will be pulling in to help illustrate or amplify points that are made within these books. The first one, as I mentioned today, is Craig Martin, Critical Introduction to the Study of Religion. This is what it looks like. It's the 2nd edition. And what I want to do now is show you how you can access that book through the library. In case you want an electronic copy or kind of as a stopgap measure until your hard copy arrives. So Craig Martin, oops, Religion. You just type that in at the Thomas Cooper Library homepage, hit enter or return. And the first thing that comes up, the first version here, this is the 1st edition, and that one is available in hard copy, but I want to deal with the 2nd edition because Martin has added some important material and kind of made some changes, some of which came from critiques that I talked to him about. But, let me just go back. So again, Craig Martin Religion. It's not the 1st one, it's not the 2nd one, it's not the 3rd one, it's the 4th one. It's the one that is available online. Critical Introduction to the Study of Religion, 2nd edition. It's 2017. It'll say View Online, Availability Options. It doesn't matter which one let's just click the 1st one, for example. It's going to ask you to log in, and again. And then you'll see you can read online or you can download the book. Here you have the table of contents, so you can go right to certain sections of the book. It's going to give you the option to download it as a PDF. So for example, chapter 1, Religion and the Problem of Definition. If you click that, you can just read it right on the screen. You can download it and then maybe do some highlighting in the book, or you can print it and then mark it up as you like. So, that's how you're going to access this book if you don't have a copy of it yet, or if you just want it this way, you don't want a hard copy at all. So that's that. The other 2 books, the other 2 books that you will need. You won't need for probably 3 or 4 more weeks, but I recommend going ahead and getting them now. The 2nd book we're going to read is by Stephanie Mitchum. She's one of my colleagues in the Department of Religious Studies. She's a full professor here in our department, but also is in the Women and Gender Studies department, and also teaches courses that we cross-list with African American Studies. And the book we're going to be reading by her is Race, Religion, and Politics Toward Human Rights in the United States. This was published just last year, and I'm really excited that it came out because it has a lot of material that I think is really going to be helpful for us as we kind of jump into this project, this task, this challenge of exploring religion. The 3rd book, Franz de Waal, I mentioned in class today. This one's called The Bonobo and the Atheist, In Search of Humanism Among the Primates. That book I mentioned in class, but he opens the whole topic of religion and ethics. Is religion needed for morality? How does it help? And Franz de Waal is a primatologist actually in Atlanta, and he studies pro-social behavior among non-human primates. And he talks about different theories that talk about ethics and morality as being an evolved characteristic, and one that doesn't necessarily depend initially on religion. So that's a really interesting book. But again, those will be a few weeks, maybe a month down the road. And then I note here, all other required materials will be available on Blackboard. Requirements, homeworks, exams, and a final project. And as you'll see, homeworks are 70% of the final grade. It says the details to be provided, and yes, I'll provide more details. This is what's known as low stakes assignments. So I'm gonna have you do a short homework to prepare for each class period. It won't always be as long as the one that I had you do today, or that I'm having you do for Tuesday. But the idea is that by doing those every time, you're going to pick up something for each class, and you will get rewarded for doing it. And so if you mess some up, if you miss some, there'll be so many that those, you know, those failures will kind of go out in the wash, right? And they're low stakes because there are so many of them. You know, it's not like a do or die. Your grade doesn't depend on 1 or 2 or even 5 of these. It's kind of the mass, critical mass at the end of the semester. And I'll explain a little bit more in detail later, but the idea is that I want you to write something meaningful in response to each of the questions or prompts or items on the homework. Exams, 20% of the final grade. There'll be 3, I don't even like to call them exams, maybe 3, I don't know, opportunities for you to show off what you've learned throughout the semester. And those will be arranged with reference to each of the textbooks, right? The Martin, the Mitchum, and the Duvall. There'll be a final project where you will pursue something of your own interest that you will talk about with me kind of throughout the semester, beginning around the midpoint, and you'll develop it into a project of your own choosing. So those are the requirements. I would like to talk a little bit more about the homework, and I will do that with reference to, the homework that I have posted for you that is due Tuesday. And by the way, the one that's due Thursday, I'm just finishing it up now, and I'll be posting that in a little bit. But I post it each time in a PDF and a Word document. And as you'll see, there are very specific questions related directly to the reading. And I also give you the page range from which I developed that question. And the idea here is that if you have a whole 2 chapters or a whole 30 pages that you feel like you just have to slog through and you're not sure what you need to be watching out for, sometimes it gets a little onerous and tedious and boring. So what I'm trying to do with these questions is kind of provide you a map, a way to navigate the text, in a way that you'll come away with what I think are the important points being developed through those chapters. At the end of each assignment, though, I will have 2 questions similar to this number 7 and number 8. And here, 7 is, in your own estimation, what is the most significant theme or topic from the reading? This is a chance for you to tell me what you found to be most interesting or most challenging, most controversial. So I just want you basically, you know, to tell me that. And if it's a page number or a page range, let me know that too, so that if I want to take a look at it, I can. And maybe say something about why you thought it was important or challenging or controversial or, you know, enriching, enlightening. Pick any descriptor that you like. I just want to hear from you what really caught your attention. And then number 8, this will be on each of the homeworks. I'm asking you to write a question based on or otherwise inspired by the readings. This question can be anything you want it to be, but I want it to be a question. I don't just want a bullet point of a topic or a theme. I want it to be a question that you could ask of a classmate to help kind of start a discussion, or that you could ask of me, you know, to help get advice or guidance on maybe how to research the question further. So that's it for the homeworks. I've already received one question via email about how I want this to be done. I would prefer if you just use this template, download it, and then type under each question. So here, for example, under question 1, right, you can just tab over and start typing your answer here. All right, a few sentences for each one, and then save it. If you want to make your sentences a different color, if you want to make them bold so they stand out to me as I'm going through and grading, then that's great, but you don't have to. Please do not make one big essay that lacks notation of what question you're responding to. There should be a rubric available for you to look at when you turn this in that shows you what I'm looking for each question. But again, hey Kat, hi. Again, if you just say something meaningful in response to each one, then you'll get the points for that. Okay, we'll deal with other questions as we go along. I think that's probably it for now. Stop sharing the screen. And I just want to say one more thing, and that is about this book, Critical Introduction to the Study of Religion. The course, as I mentioned, carries a kind of a social science Carolina core curriculum credit. And that is the approach to the study of religion that is being outlined in this book. The author does so with students in mind. So he has written this, especially with people in mind, like most of you who maybe have never had a religious studies course, or maybe if you had, you hadn't really had the chance to think deeply about what it means to study religion, which, requires that you start thinking about questions like, what is religion in the first place, right? What is it? Why am I forming my definition the way I am? And so I say all this to note that there may be moments as you're reading this that you may kind of bristle up and think, wow, Craig Martin, you don't sound very pious, or you sound a little extra critical here and there. But that's the point, right? That this is the study of religion, not necessarily the practice of it. And so I would encourage you, if you have these moments where you may feel frustrated and you may feel a little bit challenged by what's being said in the book, that you kind of step back and just remind yourself, this is a university course. We're at a public university. This isn't promoting any particular religion. But what I'm trying to do, and what Craig Martin is trying to do in the book, is kind of introduce you to the trade, to the profession of how scholars look at religion and how they think about it as a human activity. We can and we will be talking about theology and religious practice and different things like that. But I just wanted to give this little disclaimer as we begin. That within the course we are studying people who practice religion. We ourselves may, if we are practitioners of religion, feel some discomfort about that because it kind of turns the mirror back, and it may feel a little awkward. And so again, just try to step back and breathe and remember, you're learning something new, and I think that's why most of you are here. I have another short video that I'm finishing up, kind of introducing myself to you, which hopefully I can finish up today and post. But for now, I just want you to start this reading and to get your homeworks. They're due 9 a.m. on Tuesday morning. I encourage you to knock it out this weekend and to upload it. And I'm asking you to send them the morning of class so that I have a chance to skim through them. And then I can address maybe, some of the topics that came up, and I can pose some of the questions that you've written during that class period that day. So If you have any questions, please send me an email, and I'll do my best to reply as quickly as I can. But I guess that's it for now. So I'll see you all Tuesday. Bye.